if we listen, picture my channel how it was before. Anytime anything happens that looks like they're going to take guns, America's going to be destroyed, World War III is about to start, any little story that could play into that narrative, I'm all over it. I'm exposing it to the people and think I'm doing the right thing. Now, in your honest opinion, who am I helping when I'm making these videos, getting people prepared with water and guns and food, and World War III is about to break out? Dude, that's a deep state puppet. Dude, that is the deep state's goal, is to upset everybody, make everybody think that ends right around the corner. Russia's about to destroy us, World War III any minute. Dude, I came to the realization that the videos I was putting out, making people aware of what's going on so they could get prepared, was helping the deep state destroy America. Me promoting the fear and the war and the get prepared, and look, the baby woke up about 2 minutes ago. Look at this, we're losing our freedom, it's gone, they're gonna take our guns. Dude, that's a deep state puppet. I had unknowingly, not on purpose, I believe, turned into a deep state puppet. And that's just by sharing the truth, spreading what's going on in the world, getting people prepared. Dude, I'm doing their job for them. That's less propaganda they gotta push. That's less fear they gotta instill in people, because all us YouTubers are doing it. So it's like, hold up, what happens if instead of focusing on all these bad things that are just around the corner, maybe or maybe not, what if I focus on all the great positive things in the world? Dude, I really think it'll do more good than what I was doing before. Because what was I doing before? What did anybody storm the castle? Was there any change brought about from my channel? No, I think the only good is people, they prepared maybe with food and water, with ammunition. They started to have a plan for when disaster strikes. But at the same time, dude, our collective consciousness sets the tone for reality. So if I'm getting into more and more people's heads, thinking they should be worried, they should be scared, you better get out and do this, you better have water. Dude, I feel like I was doing the bidding of evil unknowingly. So like, I don't know where the hell to go, but I know that I had to break that cycle. Mm-hmm. And
you don't really understand sometimes what a terrible burden it is to know some of the things that I know. To try to wake people up and impart this knowledge to them. And find out that they just have walls built in front of them. They want to be slaves.
Now I risk sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but it's no longer a theory. What I'm about to say is fact. The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
Hey, Zodiac here. So, just playing a game. I was showing Don Negro the agents online, the usual suspects. We got JONXARMY today, Richie from Boston, and so I just found it funny that you got to go review some of their videos from the last week, and they're all playing along. And so I have these documents here on COINTELPRO techniques for dilution, misdirection, and control of internet forum. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because a lot of the topics, this is the playbook that they go by. And so I'll scroll in so you could probably, hopefully you can read a little bit better as I go through this. And right here you can see the title and technique number one. Technique number one, we're well beyond that. From this playbook here, seeing John X, Marfugel, Richie from Boston, A Plain Truth, and A Call for an Uprising. They're all in this together. They are sharing subs, they are buying subs, they are trading subs, you name it. And so I want to go over this document I have. And this is the playbook for what's going on here with the truth as of late. And this has everything I believe to do with these fake events. They know that these fake events, even though they're for a different purpose, they know that people like the John X's, the RFBs, and the whatnots are all going to tap into this, and they're going to display it. And that's where the dilution of the and the misdirection of the truth in an internet type forum comes into play. And from what I saw, you know, I got to admit, John X did give a pretty good breakdown of the Pet Goat cartoon, which in my opinion, it's just another breadcrumb. It's a pissed on breadcrumb for the newcomer to fall into this trap of misdirection, because sure, it's predictive programming and it does follow along the same guidelines as what goes on in today's world, but it's like that for a reason. It's perfectly placed and put out for the sheeple to have something to chew on. Okay, and I hope people understand this. Now, these documents that I have here, you know, sure we could say they're fake, right? Sure we could say maybe they're just made up, but as I read through this, you're going to see that that's not really the case. Just what's typed up on this document here will tell you that that's not the case, because you could see it. And if you do go to, I went to Richie from Boston and I went to JONXARMY, and Richie from Boston is now turning into a prepper, in his words, on one of the videos I saw, and then John X promoting him and Marfugel and A Plain Truth and A Call for an Uprising. So they're all in on it, and admittedly so, just like we had suspected in the past. So anyway, technique number one, forum sliding. If a very sensitive posting of a critical nature has been posted on a forum, it can be quickly removed from public view by forum sliding. In this technique, a number of unrelated posts are quietly pre-positioned on the forum and allowed to age. Each of these misdirectional forum postings can then be called upon at will to trigger a forum slide. The second requirement is that several fake accounts exist, which can be called upon. To ensure that this technique is not exposed to the public, to trigger a forum slide and flush a critical post out of the public view. It is simply a matter of logging into each account, both real and fake, then reapplying pre-positioned postings with a simple 1 or 2 line comment. This brings the unrelated postings to the top of the forum list, and the critical posting slides down the front page and quickly out of public view. Although it is difficult or impossible to censor the posting, it is now lost in a sea of unrelated and useful postings. By this means, it becomes effective to keep the readers of the forum reading unrelated and non-issue items. So, for instance, the way that reads to me is, let's say you're viewing a live, and you type in something into their chat that might be relevant to truth, or a really strong piece of evidence leading to something else. A lot of times I've seen lives where they speed up, and then it flushes out a bunch of garbage from these use of guys or whoever they are that are subbing to these channels and making money for no reason. So we've all seen that happen, I'd imagine. I see it all the time. And so we're going to move on to technique number 2, consensus cracking. Oh, a second highly effective technique, which you can see in operation all the time at www.abovetopsecret.com, is consensus cracking. To develop a consensus crack, the following technique is used. Under the guise of a fake account, a posting is made which looks legitimate and is toward the truth is made. But the critical point is that it is very weak premise, without substantive proof to back the posting. Once this is done, then under alternative fake accounts, very strong position in your favor is slowly introduced over the life of the posting. It is imperative that both sides are initially presented so that the uniform reader cannot determine which side is the truth. As postings and replies are made stronger, evidence or disinformation in your favor is slowly seeded in. Thus, the uninformed reader will most likely develop the same position as you, and if their position is against their opposition to your posting, will be most likely dropped. However, in some cases where the forum members are highly educated and can counter your disinformation with real facts-linked postings, you can then abort the consensus cracking by initiating a forum slide. Technique number 3, topic dilution. Topic dilution is not only effective in forum sliding, it is also very useful in keeping the forum readers on unrelated and non-productive issues. This is a critical and useful technique to cause a resource burn. By implementing continual and non-related postings that distract and disrupt trolling. The forum readers, they are more effectively stopped from anything of any real productivity, and the intensity of gradual dilution is intense enough. The readers will effectively stop researching and simply slip into gossip mode. In this state, they could be more easily misdirected away from facts towards uniform conjecture and opinion. The less informed they are, the more effective and easy it becomes to control an entire group in the direction that you would desire the group to go in. It must be stressed through proper assessment of the psychological capabilities and levels of education and first determined of the group to determine at what level of drive in the wedge. By being too far off topic too quickly, it may trigger censorship by a forum moderator. Technique number 4, information collection. Information collection is also a very effective method to determine the psychological level of the forum members and to gather intelligence that could be used against them. In this technique, in a light and positive environment, show me yours posting is initiated. From the number of replies and the answers provided, much statistical information can be gathered. An example is to post your favorite weapon, and then encourage the other members of the forum to showcase what they have. In this matter, it can be determined by reverse proration what percentage of the former community owns a firearm or an illegal weapon. The same method can be used by posing as one of the forum members and posting your favorite technique of operation. From the replies, various methods that the group utilizes can be studied and effective methods developed to stop them from their activities. Technique number 5 is anger trolling. Statistically, there is always a percentage of the forum posters who are most inclined to violence. I just like to note that little pop-up there, he's one of them. In order to determine who these individuals are, it is a requirement to present an image to the forum to deliberately incite a strong psychological reaction. From this, the most violent in the group can be effectively singled out for reverse IP location and possibly local enforcement tracking. To accomplish this only requires posting a link to a video depicting a local police officer massively abusing his power against a very innocent individual. Statistically, one of the million or so police officers in America, there is also one or two being caught abusing their powers, and taping of the activity can then be used for intelligence gathering purposes. Without the requirement to stage a fake abuse video, this method is extremely effective, and the more abusive the video can be made to look. Sometimes it is useful to leave the forum by replying to your own posting with your own statement of violent intent. And then you do not care what the authorities think. Inflammation. By doing this and showing no fear, it may be more effective in getting the more silent and self-disciplined violent intent members of the forum to slip and post their real intentions. This can be used later in a court of law during prosecution. Okay, so right now with Richie from Boston, John X, and Mar Fugel, I believe right now, and Prepper Nurse, and A Call for an Uprising, and A Plain Truth, and there's probably some more that we don't know about. I believe right now we're at technique number 6, gaining full control. It is important, it reads, it is important to also be harvesting and continually maneuvering for a forum moderator's position. Once this position is obtained, the forum can then be effectively and quietly controlled by deleting unfavorable postings. And one can eventually steer the forum into complete failure and lack of interest by the general public. This is the ultimate victory, as the forum is no longer participated with by the general public and no longer useful in maintaining their freedoms. Depending on the level of control you can attain, you can deliberately steer a forum into defeat by censoring postings, deleting memberships, flooding, or accidentally taking the forum offline. Now, John X had spoke of this with this part. He had spoke of this with Mar Fugel and said that Mar Fugel now has a direct link to YouTube if his channel ever is to be censored. That's where I have the problem with these guys, and this is this right here. I mean, it's the playbook. And so now that I got excited, I lost my spot. By this method, the forum can be quickly killed. However, it is not always in the interest to kill a forum, as it can be converted into a honeypot, gathering center to collect and misdirect newcomers from this point, be completely used for your control, for your agenda purposes. Here's the conclusion. Remember, these techniques are only effective in the forum if the forum participants do not know about them. Now you know. Once they're aware of these techniques, the operation can completely fail, and the forum can become uncontrolled. At this point, the avenues must be considered, such as initiating a false legal precedence to simply have the forum shut down and taken offline. This is not desirable, as it then leaves the enforcement agencies unable to track the percentage of those in the population who always resist attempts for control against them. Many other techniques can be utilized and developed by the individual, and as you develop further techniques of infiltration and control, it is imperative to share them with HQ. So anyways, in this here, you know, I hope you see what I see. You know, this is what it is. This is what it's come down to, you know, and, you know, so what's next? We're going to find out that Lift the Veil and is in with him, and, you know, all that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. It's very informative, and I believe that this is what's going on. Thanks for watching.